fast forward the fast. Well, I find out it's 5 days water only. Okay, 5 days water only. So the first day I start, and I'm excited. So it's Sunday. All right. So I'm like, okay, Monday morning I'm going to get up and I'm just going to drink water. So I started. It wasn't that bad. Wow. So I get into the second day. So I kind of had some grumbling. So I called Dr. Cooper. I'm like, my stomach, and I'm feeling like this. Get a little Himalayan sea salt, shake it, and lick it on your tongue, and you're good. So I did it, and it worked. Third day was insane.
Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Hey, this is Scotty Cooper with the Miracle Academy with another podcast episode. Today I've got a really special guest. This is one of my coaches, Coach Coates. So Coach Dan Coates, he was one of my coaches in high school, one of my favorite coaches in high school. He just is such a special guy. Like, the way he does things, I remember being in high school and being like, okay, this guy's different. Like, he gets it. He, not only could he, coach me and make me a better person and player, but, he's a badass. And just, he's so incredibly strong and gifted. But then, he can translate what he can do to all these other players. And he's always a fan favorite. Every guy that played for him, he's like, when they go back to the school and they talk about, who's your favorite coach, he's one of the guys on the list. So I've got Coach Coates with me today. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So the reason why I thought it would be fun to have you on the podcast was that you have a really cool story, especially with us here. And I feel like you could be an inspiration. You already are an inspiration for so many people that are practice members here. And so I'd like just to have you kind of tell your story of what happened to you, what got you here, and how you've just exploded since. So why don't you set the scene for how you were a couple of years ago.
Okay. I was a wrestling and football coach for basically 30 years. Had decided to retire because my mom was getting elderly and was in a rest home. And so decided to do that, was commuting 4 hours a day, and all of a sudden I got into a car accident and hit the wall at basically 50 miles an hour. Was at the hospital, went to the doctors. Of course, the first thing they say, you have to have surgery. You've got 3 sublux discs. We're going to have to basically put rods in your back. That wasn't an option for me. Backing up a little bit, before that, I'd been a college athlete, had been a coach, was taking a lot of medication. I was taking Vicodin, I was taking blood pressure medication, I had diabetes, I had all these things kind of going at the same time. Get into my accident, nothing's working. The pain medication is not working. I'm praying one night, God, please help me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Into my mind, Cooperstown, bam, right away.
Yeah.
So the next day I get on the phone, Scotty, he's, Coach, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing well at all. I need help. So I come in, and it was amazing. It's kind of, as I came in, it was like I went through the threshold. I actually felt my aura change as I came in. I felt this positive need to want to get better at what I do.
Yeah.
So at that time we began to talk. We didn't just talk about just healing my body. It was also healing my mind and healing my spirit and what I ate and everything else. So we kind of put this down in steps, as you remember. The first thing was the body, so we started with the chiropractic adjustments. Then I talked to Dad, and Dr. Cooper's like, well, we're going to do this detox, and it's going to make things a lot better, and then we're going to talk about eating clean, and I'm kind of looking at him like, eating clean? Dude, do you see me? At the time, I weighed 420 pounds. Ate a lot of meat, ate a lot of things that weren't good for me, a lot of fast food and things like that. So over the course of time, we were working on the chiropractic, so the pain is better. But the amazing part was within 2 weeks, I have not taken a Vicodin or anything else in almost 3.5 years.
So that is just crazy to me. But tell everyone, how much Vicodin did you have to take?
I was taking 3 Vicodin a day. I would need 1 to get up in the morning because I would be up at 6 o'clock in the morning in the swimming pool swimming with my athletes that had injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would take 1 about midday to kind of get me to practice so that I could move around and do what I needed to do and going to wrestling practice. And then 1 at night to help me to go to sleep because I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. Now, this is because of college wrestling and coaching and neck injuries, back injuries, a variety of things.
Right.
But never in a million years did I ever think that I would ever be able to go without medication. And like I said, 2 weeks after adjustments, I realized that I wasn't taking any Vicodin. And I remember coming in and talking to your dad and saying, I haven't taken a Vicodin in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you. And I'm, okay. Yeah, you did, but okay. Then we get to the point to where it's time for detox. And he's like, Dr. Cooper goes, yeah, Dan, we should do this detox. And, okay, what does that mean? So he's like, oh, well, you'll just have to drink shake and, your taste buds are going to change. Yeah. He goes, some people don't even like meat. And I'm like, okay, I've eaten meat my whole life. I love to barbecue. I love meat. 1 week after I started detoxing was the last piece of meat that I've had. Since that time, I've not eaten chicken, I've not eaten beef, I have not eaten pork, and this isn't a conscious decision I'm going to run away from these things. It's what my body wants. Now I eat basically a plant-based diet and seafood. Basically pescatarian, but I don't eat eggs, I don't drink milk. And again, this isn't something that I'm focusing on doing, it's what my body wants. One of the things that I really learned here was how to pay attention and understand what my body wanted.
Yeah.
So I go through my detox. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Meanwhile, I'd lost about 20 pounds, so I was down to about 400 now. And from 400 to 420, there's not a lot of variance there. You're still a real big guy. So after that, he goes, well, we're going to start fasting. And that's where he lost me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go without food. Okay, come on. Well, I read a book, The Longevity Diet, I believe is the name of the book. Yeah. I read the book, and it just intrigued me. I was, wow, these people have all of these issues, and they're being solved by fasting.
Yeah.
So I read the book, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I come in, and one thing about me, especially being a coach for as long, if I say I'm going to do something, I have to do it, because I think that all of those young men who I've coached in the past are all, it's kind of a head game I play with myself. They're all looking at me and they're like, okay, is he going to talk it and walk it? Because that's one of the terminologies that I use, is that if I'm not going to do it myself, I'm not going to tell you to do it.
Right.
Fast forward the fast. Well, I find out it's 5 days, water only. Okay, 5 days, water only. So the first day I start, and I'm excited, so it's Sunday. All right. So I'm like, okay, Monday morning I'm going to get up and I'm just going to drink water. So I started, and it wasn't that bad. Wow. So I get into the second day. So I kind of had some grumbling, so I called Dr. Cooper. I'm like, my stomach, and I'm feeling like this. Get a little Himalayan sea salt, shake it, and lick it on your tongue, and you're good. So I did it, and it worked. Third day was insane. I had this mental clarity, and for everyone, I cannot explain to you. I remember reading for 13 hours. I mean, yeah, I took little breaks, but I was drinking water and doing things. But having this mental clarity, everything that I read, I interpreted, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Going into the fourth day, it was the same way. So then I got to the fifth day, and I was like, well, I kind of want something to eat. So, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 5 days. So I was like, wow, I wonder how much weight I lost. I get on a scale, and I had lost 30 pounds in 5 days. Okay? So, the next important thing was what I put in my body right after that. Yeah. So I made sure that coming off of it, I did the right things.
Right.
So 3 weeks go by, I'm doing the right things, I'm eating much better, I'm still not eating meat.
Yeah.
I do another 5-day water fast. I lose 30 more pounds. Okay, so I've done 60 pounds in basically 2 months. And people are looking at me like going, wow, you know, you look good. And not just that, I mean, your skin looks good and everything.
Right.
So I do one more, and I lose 30 more pounds. Okay, no, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm down 80 pounds in 3 months, and people are just going, oh my gosh, what, you know, and I'm excited. It just, you know, okay, I'm doing things. So on this journey, I'm realizing, you know, since I have retired, since I'm kind of doing my own thing, what do I really want out of life? What you know, what makes me tick? And the thing is that I see what your dad does and what you do, and I have to do that. I want to learn to heal my own body, because as this journey begins, all of a sudden I'm starting to feel better. I mean, I'm starting to smile a little bit more. I'm starting to laugh a little bit more, you know. Just my whole environment changed. And I come in and I go, you know, Dr. Cooper, I want to talk to you because I'm searching for this journey. And he looks at me and he goes, you know, you should be a chiropractor. Have you ever thought about going to chiropractic school? And in my mind, the first thing in my mind was, wow, you know, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I go home and I always do a pros and cons list whenever I'm going through things. This is another thing that I always teach the student athletes. And so I go over all the pros, and I get to the cons, and there was no cons. So I'm like, wow, okay. So we're going through this, and like I said, I had lost 80 pounds. Well, then I started to get the hunger for knowledge. Yeah. Okay, I've done this, but what can I really do?
Right.
I'm 57 years old. I've got to be honest, when this whole journey started, I thought maybe I had another 10 years. I was having trouble sleeping. I had sleep apnea horribly, just grumpy, tired all the time, having trouble walking. Well, after you lose 80 pounds, a lot of those problems go away.
Yeah.
So I go to visit Life West Chiropractic College in Hayward, which is where I will be attending. And I'm walking around with all the kids that are half my age and even younger, we'll say. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of tough, you know. And one of the thoughts in the back of my mind was, man, this is demanding, you know, and can I do it? Well, one of the things, if you know anything about me, saying can you do it, there's no such word as can in my vocabulary. So I said, well, okay. So I guess what? So what I did was, over the next 3 months, I've lost another 80 pounds. So now I'm down 160 pounds. I'm under 250 pounds for the first time. Oof. Probably like 1992, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
But the amazing part about this is how I feel. I eat clean, no fast food. I mean, you have to make a decision what you really want to do.
Right.
And that's what I've done. And again, I want to be an example. I see so many people suffering, and I know what that feels like. And now the best is yet to come. Going to chiropractic school, learning about the body, and you know, I've got the perfect knowledge for this as a coach for 30 years, learning about nutrition and just making myself a better person. I love to help people.
Yeah.
I love to help myself. Of course, as I've lost this weight, people are just like, oh my God, what are you doing, you know? First thing I say is, hey, you got to come see Dr. Cooper first, you know?
Yeah.
The second thing is eating clean.
Right.
And, you know, changing your habits, changing your ways. I exercise, I walk. I don't do the crazy exercises that I used to do because I'm 57 years old. But I walk every day. Now I do a dumbbell routine where I'm exercising. And I think my goal is probably I'll be around 235, which is about another 10 or 15 pounds. I really enjoyed the other day. I went out and got to buy new clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was going to comment on that.
I've had this for 20 years. It was in my closet. I could not wear it. It was nowhere near. I mean, I couldn't get my arm in the sleeve. And the other day, I'm like, I wonder, can I wear that shirt? Oh my gosh. So I put the shirt on and I'm like, wow, it's kind of big. I like that. And then the same thing, I ordered these pants because, of course, where are you going to go to get fitted nowadays? So I started this journey at a size 58 waist. These pants are a 42 waist and they're too big.
That's so
and
awesome.
You know, I ordered these shorts and they're 38, and I'm like, wow, you know, this is kind of cool. But you know, the amazing part of that is my health, my physical health, and how I feel. I get up in the morning
I have this vigor for and thirst for knowledge, that I not only want to help myself, I want to help other people. And that's the most important part, is if I had something to say, it would be, people, you can change your life. You can do what you want to do. It's all about your mindset. It's about your spirituality. It's about the people that you surround yourself with. I mean,
Right.
I have an amazing, what I call, support team. You know, my family, Dr. Krishna Smith, who's a wonderful mentor in a lot of ways. I have my sports psychologist that I talk to all the time, and my sons. And they're my biggest support, you know. And then again, with Facebook and everything, a lot of the young men that I've coached, like you know, who, it's just amazing to be on this journey. And I want to help others to do this too. I want to be a part of this. I mean, we were talking today. Everything I've done up to this point has brought me to this point to where now I'm going to chiropractic school, and then I'm going to help others after that. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm so incredibly proud to see how you've changed and how you've just elevated your life. And just like you said, you felt like you had a certain time limit. Now it's just completely different.
I tell you, my time limit now, I'm going to live to at least be 100 years old. I mean, and who's going to doubt me? I love it. Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go.
That's
Who's
so
going to
awesome.
doubt me? I know my body and spirit, you know, if it wasn't for COVID right now, oh my gosh, I would just be in the gym and in the pool and everything else. But I've had to adapt and do that. And that's what's made this so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Right.
You know, whereas everybody else is talking about, oh, I've gained weight and this and that. No, I lost another 80 pounds through COVID. But again, it's mindset.
Right.
It's when you really choose to do it, when you really choose to believe it, and you know, from you guys, that's where all this is coming from. You know, not that I didn't have that as a coach, because you remember me as a coach.
Right.
But Joe Dispenza and all these other videos that I watched that helped me to really help myself and to help other people, because I consider myself an example and a role model for others.
Yeah.
So again, if I'm not going to do it, then why talk about it?
Right.
So I chose to change my life, and I'm going to do it. And like I said, 100, who knows?
That's so
Could
cool.
be 200 for all I care. You know, let's go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think too, the thing you and I were talking about the other day was like how your mindset has now attracted all of these cool possibilities to you that were like never even thought before.
Yes.
Now it's like these things are flying at you that's like, whoa, like this is incredible.
Yes.
And I think that's so cool.
Yes. One of the things with that also, doing something I call Cooking with Coach Coates, that will be on Sundays around 2 o'clock, where one of the things that I've done in changing the way that I eat is learning how to change the way that I cook. And again, I don't eat meat. I eat vegetables, and kale, beets, spinach. Those are my best friends, basically. And you can do amazing things with these foods, and how they change your body is even more amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that for family at first, and then after that I'm kind of opening it up, because everybody's asking me, well, what are you doing? What are you eating? And how are you doing it? So I'm going to do that, Cooking with Coach Coates.
Nice.
You know, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy cooking now. I really enjoy the exercise part of it. You know, just getting out and getting vitamin D every day.
Yeah.
I make it a point to get out in the sun 10, 15 minutes a day just to help, and then meditating.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how meditating has changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, all the negative thoughts, you know, all that little person on your shoulder that's always telling you, you can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just have to be in a place to where you can recognize that and take the steps to do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch your
Cooking
with Coach Coates. We'll link it in so we can do that.
All right.
But yeah, I think you've just been such an inspiration here with us and with our team. And one of the things I actually wanted to tell you was that one of our team members, who she's been on our team for a long time, she recently kind of had this mind shift, and I feel like you had a big part of it.
Wow.
She decided that, you know what, Coach is going back to school to go to chiropractic school. I think it's time for me too.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
And it's cool because she's always wanted to, but was just kind of like not sure. And now she sees someone like you that's like, okay, I'm doing it.
Right.
And she's like, okay, so she's 13 credits away from getting into chiropractic school, and she's going to be following in your footsteps.
That's cool.
And that's I think what, you know, you're leading this, and you're leading by example, and people are coming after you, and they're gonna do great things as well. You're inspiring so many people.
Well, I think we all, especially in the world today, we all are looking for those inspirations, and it comes from within.
Right.
And again, one of the main things being a coach is I always tried to make sure that I did what I asked other people to do.
Yeah.
And I was a man of, I call myself a man of faith, a warrior of God in a lot of ways, being a wrestler, but always having that attitude that, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to do it. I'm going to make sure that I do the same thing. And at 57 right now, it's time to do that.
Yeah.
It's time to do that.
That's cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this today. Make sure you follow Coach Coates, so Dan Coates, on social media. Look out for it's Cooking with Coach Coates.
Cooking with Coach Coates.
Yeah, so make sure you watch that. Thank you for watching today. So once again, this is Scotty Cooper with the Miracle Academy. So this is where miracles are expected.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.